Miss Sweeney? Here. Miss O'Grady?
Here.
Miss Ryan? Mr. Steele?
Here.
Vice President Gomez?
Here.
President Andrews?
Here. All rise for the flag salute.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law, the New Milford Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Borough Hall and the New Milford Public Library. Notices have been sent to the Record and the Twin Borough News. The board announces that under its long-standing policy, it will not discuss in public any comments made by members of the public concerning individual staff members. At this time, please be advised that all cell phones and electronic devices are to be turned off. Meetings of the board are open to the public, and all members of the community should feel free to participate. Before coming to the board, the chain of command should be followed. There are two portions of the meeting reserved for comments from the public. The first at the beginning of the meeting for agenda items only, and the second at the end of the meeting for other items. Issues raised by the public may or may not be responded to by the board, but all comments will be considered. The board requests that all members of the public be mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Due to confidentiality and legal rights afforded by the state of New Jersey, members of the public are asked to not speak negatively or in a derogatory manner about any employee of the board or any student. I would like to make a motion for the approval of the minutes for the October 19th regular, November 9th work, and November 9th close. Can I get a second, please? Seconded by Anthony Alvaro. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. At this point, we have a presentation. We have two presentations. One from Mr. Dalala, David E. Owens, principal from David E. Owens Middle School, and the other one from Briella Bacons, our student council representative at David E. Owens Middle School.
Those presentations will be together. We'll kind of go back and forth with this one.
Okay, sounds excellent.
Would you like us to start?
Sure, if you're ready.
Yeah, excellent. Well, I'm Mr. Dalala, and this is Briella. Briella is our student council president, and we're going to talk a little bit about our year so far at DEO and what we're concentrating on, and we're also going to talk about what we're looking forward to. I'll be going for the first few slides, and you know, starting this year, interestingly, we have to go back a little. So really, when I was 5 years old, no, I'm just kidding. So over the summer, if this works, which it does, our year started with a summer camp. And we had an SEL summer camp. It was run by Mrs. Zacher. And she came and had a lot of our students working on just really reacclimating them to their building. A lot of them hadn't been there since they were sixth graders. Some of them actually started middle school and never even went to middle school yet. So it was really nice to have a lot of them come in. We did a lot of activities outside. Here is just some pictures of them tie-dyeing shirts together, and over there is one of our students who had a little cake and went a little far with that, but they definitely had fun, and it was a start to our year. One of our goals at the middle school and district-wide is really kind of, we knew from all of the most recent research and everything that was coming out about our students coming back to the building, that there were going to be some social emotional skills that were lost. And may have been lost, or maybe kind of hidden and need to be found once again. So that was going to be a focus for us. So early on, our first PD, even before school started, was kind of about planning with SEL in mind. Last year, during the year, I had done some research on SEL books, and there was a new book by a Dr. Borba called Thrivers. I would recommend it to anybody who's a parent. It's actually an amazing book. And it goes through some of these skills which sometimes it's interesting, they could be considered soft skills, but they're really anything but soft skills if you look at them. They're actually really some of the hardest abilities for us as humans to attain. And sometimes it takes us a lifetime to even get close to attaining them. But it's very important to start at an early age. And we had talked about each of these skills, and we talked about where they would go in our plans. We had Dr. Chris Amalis in to help us with really kind of finding out explicitly where they would be integrated. We've also integrated that into our walkthrough process. That's something that we've been working on. And now we have each of our faculty meetings and a lot of our Monday meetings are devoted to highlighting each of these skills. And thanks to Ms. Odoxta and all of you, we were able to purchase over the summer one of these books for every single one of our staff members. And we've really been delving into that as one of our literary goals and literature for our work with the students. And now I'm going to have Briella, we're just kind of going to go back and forth. She's going to talk about early September.
So during the week of September 11th, we did a lot of projects in social studies class, and we watched a bunch of videos of survivors from the day, and they told us about a lot of their stories. And then around the bulletin boards all around the school, we made leaves with hopeful quotes on them, just to kind of help the students remember the important day. For the cereal challenge, it was run through the Service Learning Club, and we collected about 200 boxes. And a few students during lunch, we made a pattern that is out DEO, and we actually won the best design in the county.
Kind of a little visual of what we did in the gym.
Wow.
And that worked the first time. How did it work?
If the lights were off, would we be able to see it better?
Maybe, if you'd like to turn,
Dan.
maybe I should have had the lights off. I
Dan.
apologize.
Dan
Would you like me to do that?
Dan can help us. There we go, that's good.
Okay. So as you can see, that's actually the middle of our gym, and they happen to be doing work there, putting electric out to the learning cottage out back, but that's nonetheless. All right. As you can see, I'm very proficient with this keyboard here. Okay, going back to the teachers, and one of the things that we felt like as an admin team and as a staff we had to keep in mind for our building was the well-being of our teachers. They also have been out of school, they've had their own family concerns, they've had their own challenges, and one of the things that I was truly amazed about, I was approached by a team of our teachers where they wanted to revise our steering committee and really revamp it and re-up it, and they created a couple things that, you know, they're doing monthly breakfasts and they're themed, everything is individually wrapped, and so we're being as safe as possible. Right now, hopefully, at some point, we don't have to continue that. And really, we're doing these shout-outs where I think it's awesome because one teacher is every single week putting a really detailed feedback about how they wouldn't be able to do their job without one of their colleagues. And then they pass it on to everybody, and we're kind of in our fourth week, and it goes out to everybody, and it's something that everybody just looks forward to seeing who gets their next shout out, and really just been a very nice thing for our building to build that positive culture, really from the staff down. Also, I wanted to point out we have a new program starting last year, which I think it just so happened, you know, we have Eve Valente as our media specialist. She's an amazing media specialist. She brought on board and researched a new Destiny program. It's a digital resource for all of our students where they can get and take out any book digitally, as well as take out books from our print library from any device, from their phone, from their Chromebook, anywhere. Another part of Destiny is Lightbox, which is really awesome. It's an interactive piece where this is more on the teacher side and the curriculum instruction side, where they can get books that have embedded videos, embedded links, embedded questions, and things that all of our teachers can use with their classes. And you can see it includes these. Also, all these books have an audio component, so they will read to the students, most of them. Some of them it's a little electronic sounding still, but some of them actually do have a nice voice. It depends on what the offering for the individual book is. And this is all through our digital as well as print library system. Really great new resource. Okay, back to Briella.
So for the week of respect, a bunch of students wore blue to support people who have felt bullied. And a bunch of students made notes as pledges of respect to both themselves and other students. We had a former NFL player and Army officer come in from Team Truth. His name was Caleb Campbell, and he talked about his story and everything that's gone on in his life. And he travels to many other schools. He's touched over 10 million students, and he's gone to around 7 million schools. Well, not him, but the Team Truth in general. And he basically sends out a message to stay true to yourself and live how you want to live. And a bunch of students made positive emails and sent them to teachers.
As a result of that assembly, it was really nice. I think it was 10,000 and 7,000, so it's okay, it's not a big deal though. Just because I don't want to think 10 million schools. I'm not sure we have 10 million schools, but that's cool. Awesome. All right, and now I just wanted to welcome our new teachers and just kind of put a face to the names. You might hear about them. Mrs. Howard is our new Spanish teacher. She comes to us from an international business background. She is a trilingual individual. She is actually a native French speaker, and obviously English as well as Spanish. She is working really hard to kind of come on board. Both of these individuals happen to come to our school on October 12th, the same day, to take over their classes, which was really interesting. Mr. Stanley, he is our new French teacher. He is one of the more worldly individuals I think I've ever met. He's a man that, honestly, in listening to him, you kind of just want to know what he knows. He just sort of brings so much experience and knowledge. And when you sit in his classroom, everything kind of, he'll refer, it's hard to explain, but he's able to reference French to at least 4 different languages and 3 different places in the world he's been at any given time. And it's just some of his life experience that he brings to class. It really makes it engaging and amazing. So we're really happy with these 2 new additions that we have for our students. All right, back to Briella.
So for advisory, we leave our classes 30 minutes to the end of the day, and we go to our advisory class. I have Miss Perna, and she starts off by asking how we feel, if there's anything we need to talk about. And then in the first advisory, we did a get to know each other, and we put facts about ourselves on a piece of paper, and we crumpled them up and threw them around the room. And then whoever's you had to guess whose it was by reading the facts. And then during the second one, we talked about organization because we're switching to string bags. So we have to go to our lockers more often and how to stay organized. And then our next one's actually tomorrow.
Yes. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about, the theme is thankful. And what that means to be thankful, and doing some reflections on being thankful. And surprisingly enough, when I had my first advisory for some reason this year, I got hit with one of those paper walls. I wonder why that is. I don't think that happened in Miss Perna, but I'll have to talk to her about that. Next, service learning, Briella again.
The Service Learning Club, they put together a volunteer thing to go to Dorney Park, and they cleaned it up and they raised money. And I wasn't able to make it, but some of my friends that went, they said it was a good way to help out the community, and they said it was good bonding time with students outside of school. And we also did the 22 push-up challenge. And it's basically to raise awareness to STD and veteran suicide.
And the little box in the corner is at DEO now. And if you have any gently used clothes, please bring them by. So for every bag of clothes that we donate to this system, they plant a tree. And we also kind of, based on poundage, go into a competition. So please make sure if you have any gently used clothes, this is on the front circle of DEO. Deliver them. That's also through our Service Learning Club. That was working a second ago.
Mr. Delisle, just toggle it off and then
Turn it
power it back on.
Say again, I'm sorry.
Toggle
it
the
off.
keyboard off and then on.
Reboot.
Up top?
Yeah.
Well, we might have a technical person here. Right.
It might be that, it might be that.
This kind of seems like it might be a battery issue, Mr. Reed.
Okay.
Oh, can you tell me when I can do it? Or do you want to use this one? You
Oh,
don't
yeah,
have
sure,
it now.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Ah, there you go.
I think we found a replacement.
Oh, there you go.
So for safety patrol, students that do it, they just have to come in 10 minutes earlier every day, and then they leave 10 minutes later after the bell rings. And they basically just make sure kids get off the school property and onto the school property safe.
And control our doors and control the flow of traffic in and out of the building. The flow of traffic is interesting at DEO right now because all of our 6th graders are actually in the front of the building and I'm taking their temperatures, and then in the back, our 7th and 8th graders are getting their temperatures taken by Officer Convoy and Mrs. Perna. And really, our safety patrol has helped us out because being alone out front, it was kind of impossible to be taking temperatures and opening the doors and watching. So it's really great to have them back and helping us, and have Officer Convoy head off that kind of what he calls them squads, I think. Yeah, he's very efficient, so it's fun.
So for the math mystery project, every unit in algebra, we do a project based off whatever we're learning. And in Unit 2, we did a project based off linear inequalities. And the project I did, I said, what country stole the World Cup trophy? And that's mine all the way on the right. And then other students did stuff like who lost the stuffed dinosaur, who started the food fight, and who was Mr. Perkins' favorite student.
Oh.
Hopefully, Mr. Perkins doesn't have a favorite student other than all of them. But still fun nonetheless.
Okay, so for Red Ribbon Week, we did a theme every day. And on Monday, we wore red for respect. And then another day of the week, we did tie-dye for no drugs. And then another day, we did neon and sparkle for let your drug-free lifestyle shine. And then we did pajama day for drug-free dreams. And then the last day, we did Halloween costumes.
And we also had the K-9 unit in from the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office. And at the time, we were supposed to have the HIT team in, which is high-intensity talks, which brings an inmate from the Sheriff's Department. The person who was presenting, interestingly enough, actually got out the day before. He was supposed to come. So that kind of ruined that plan. But just last week on Friday, we had the HIT team in, and we had a gentleman come and talk to us, who actually, interestingly enough, was from DEO. You know, he went through the school system in New Milford, so really was able to connect with the students in his experience in a powerful way, because they were literally looking at a person that went through, New Milford school system. So it's interesting. There's a picture of Halloween at DEO, which is always very, very fun. One of the, last times that we had, like, almost every student get dressed up and participate. And our student council does costume contests during all of the lunches, and they hand out prizes. So the kids have a lot of fun with it. It's really great. Nightly values. So every month, we have, we hand out, when we ask our teachers and our aides and our office members, we give everybody these cards. We have many of these like cards, and we ask them to just really find when our students are doing something positive, when they're helping each other out, when they're doing something that makes our community a better place. They hand the student one of these. They give them feedback as to why. They ask them to bring them to Ms. Perna or myself. We get to listen to why they are, being positive or what they've done. They then go into a drawing. And so at the end of every month, based on how many cards you get tickets for this drawing. We pull out the card, and then we have a values winner that gets posted. These are our first 2 months. We do this every single month of the year, and it's really just a way, once again, to just make our school the best place it can be.
So for the stock market game, I think kids in 6th and 7th grade do it in Mrs. Bailey's class. And we have a starting amount of money, and we have to purchase stocks to increase our portfolio. And I think we can in 6th grade. His name's Vincent Murphy, and he's actually in 2nd place. And he's making $20,000 a month,
Wow.
and Tesla's actually making him $15,000. And we also have students in 13th place, 15th, 16th, and 17th place out of the 310 teams that are playing.
And this is Mrs. Daly, who's been doing this for a long time, and she does an essay every year, and we've had people actually win the state. Just this past year, we had somebody celebrated here at a board meeting for winning, and maybe we'll have another soon. So it's really, really great. Officer Convoy has hit the ground running here at DEO. He's already has LEAD up and running with our 7th grade, and LEAD is the police program about making positive choices in your life. He's attending 10 sessions of health classes for all of our 7th graders, and he's really enjoying it, and it's going very well. Just wanted to say that. This is actually just really probably my favorite slide. Go ahead, Grandma.
Alright, so peer leadership is an elective that 8th graders can choose to do, and it's just a gym class with some of our classmates that have special needs, and we help them with socialization, and they actually help us too with leadership roles. And 2 times a month we eat lunch with them. We actually did today, and it's fun.
And that is new this year, an extra lunch program that Mrs. Giordano put in, so they can really get that time to socialize with the students. One of the other things that we're thinking about and looking into, which is kind of moving forward, is having a 7th grade peer leadership program through art. And that's something that we're investigating and hoping that for the future moving forward. It's something Mrs. Galligan is working on currently with me. Tutoring, we're always looking, we always are working with the high school in reference to tutoring, and we have our National Junior Honor Society, which is our 7th and 8th graders. They tutor 6th graders. We have the high school kids now coming down once a week and tutoring our students in the guidance department for anybody who's in need of help. And just this year, for the first time, our music program is now coming down, and you see some pictures of the first session this year where our high school students are working with our orchestra, are coming down and working with our orchestra students to, promote and get some of those skills that Mrs. Berenstein and Ms. Hightower impart on our students. And then finally, looking ahead. So this Friday, once again, in coordination with the high school and Mrs. Zacher, we have the Social Equity Club as well as the buddy members coming to talk to our 8th grade students and give a presentation that they've given before But it's always new and it's always reinforced, and they'll be talking about protected classes, they'll be talking about racism and microaggressions and a lot of current terms that are very, very important for our students. And the hope is that our 8th graders will then be able to present it to the 7th graders and the 6th graders as they move forward at working with the counselors. We have our annual turkey shot coming up next week. This happens during the school day, and it basically is it's a school-wide game of knockout where they spend an entire week qualifying, and then we have two school-wide games of knockout in the big gym of the qualifiers. They go against the teachers. I always participate in that, and I seem never to win. It actually seems like Mr. Bliss always knocks me out for some reason, but that's okay. We also have next week our student staff volleyball game. Briella is going to be in that, I know that, and so will I. Our winter concerts, we are running at a limited capacity. We're actually working with Mr. Riccadelli to make digitized tickets and have 2 per family so we can spread everybody out and have that happen. We're also separating the 2 concerts. So we'll have an orchestral concert and we'll have a band concert separate so we can really make sure that everybody is safe. The choral concert will be actually before both the concerts, and it'll be outside. These will all be streamed, thanks to Mr. Creed over there. And this is once again thanks to Ms. Odasta. We have Maria Scribner. She is a graphic novelist. She is contracted to come in and talk to our students. Very, very popular right now. She has a goal of really bringing about just a positive self-awareness and a positive image and self-confidence and really developing that. Our play this year, Alice at Wonderland, we have almost between 40 and 50 students involved in the play this year. They're very excited. Ms. Summers and Mr. Lee have been already, working with the students after school to really make sure that, and we'll also be ticketing that as well in a limited capacity. Minute to Win It, we have going on soon where that's through a PTO fundraiser, and we had one of the best PTO fundraisers this year ever, right? They made almost $10,000 to start out with on this first thing. They didn't earn $10,000, they made $10,000. I wish it was that way, but it's usually not. Anyway, one of the things that they get is they play games, and they can earn cash prizes to play the games, and it's a lot of fun. So watch my Twitter account, you'll see some interesting videos and pictures of students eating Oreos from their forehead. That's always a fun one that Mr. Kaplan loves to do with the kids. We also have contracted Dr. Mikey Fallon to come in later in the year. He's one of the most amazing artists / actors / doctors I've ever met in my life. He has a brilliant way of showing our students the varied perspectives that can exist and how they can view a different subject. Once again, right to that SEL component, right to how difficult it can be, just to walk in another's shoes and really give us all that perspective. I really look forward to him. It's been several years since we've had him, and I'm really looking forward to having him back. We have been meeting today on One Book, One School. We're trying to create a title where every staff member, every student reads a book, the same book in the school. We're looking to do this a little later in the year. And we're hoping that we kind of work this in coordination where there will be discussions, and each of the discussions will be thematically based on the book that we choose. And then finally, we have our Extreme Basketball Show, which was also through the PTO. We actually qualified this year, so we will all be able to see that. We're waiting for the spring for that, because I want to get everybody together to watch it, because they do flips in the air and fly through. It's really actually a cool and interesting thing for them to see. That's actually Adam sends up the Miami Heat halftime team that they do all the flips and stuff, and in the on basketball, and you get to see them, and it's a lot of fun. So, Briella, thank you so much for helping me out, and thank you for listening to us about your middle school and our community's middle school. I can't stress how much of an honor it is to be the principal of the middle school, and I'm just thankful to be here and work with your kids every day. I just hope you all know.
Briella, thank you very much for coming. It's not easy coming up here and speaking, and you did an excellent job. And you have all been very, very busy at the middle school. That is a lot of great things. So thank you for sharing it with us. We'd like to hear it from you. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Briella? 1 second, I'm not letting you off the hot seat just yet. Anyone else have questions or comments?
No, just amazing.
I actually have a question.
Sure.
The nightly values
Yes.
that the students and staff are writing about something positive about their either peer or teacher, do the ones that after the selection is made, do the other pieces of feedback get shared with the individuals who had something written
So
about
the
them?
feedback goes right on this card, Ms. Odaxa. So what we do is, and I actually specifically asked the student, so why did you get this? And then what I'll do is I'll write it right on there after I sign it, as well as the staff member, and I say I have 3 rules. One rule is that you tell somebody at home that you got this and why you got it. And actually 2 rules, I apologize. And the second rule is that it goes on the refrigerator. So they have to hang it on the refrigerator, and then I fill out a ticket and it goes into the drawing. So the drawing's just an extra little added bonus, and the more of these you get, the more chance you have of winning every single month.
Very nice.
That's great.
Briella, you are a student, so you are welcome to stay for our meeting, but we understand, and you're welcome to leave if you would like. But thank you very much for coming.
Are those your proud parents back there?
Great job.
Great job.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think I'll have to give you another guidance, but.
That's right. She deserves it.
Thank you, Mr. DeLalla.
Thank you.
Okay,
Mary.
thank you. I just want to log off here
Okay.
because access to my email and everything.
I do not want that.
Okay.
So I
You gotta
had
get
switched
everything back.
for those some people
Otherwise,
come in,
I'll
I
help you
switched
out.
for Briella to give her presentation. So now we'll go back to the order of the
I'll do it.
of the agenda. So the next part is to open to the public for items on the agenda. I seek a motion to open to the public. Motion by Joseph Steele, seconded by Nicole Dunn. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. As outlined in the Milford Board of Education Bylaw 0167, each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 2 minutes. Do we have any questions or comments from the public? I seek a motion to close to the public. Motion by Paige Ryan, seconded by Laura O'Grady. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. All right. Now we have our student board representative, Mackenzie Forte.
So hi everybody. Since our last board meeting, our student council has been busy doing lots of great things, and I'm so excited to share them with you. So on November 9th, we visited Tenafly High School to learn about their Tenafly Olympics. And we were able to sit down with administrators and student leaders who organize the Olympics yearly to learn about what they do. So Tenafly High School is well known for putting on a massive Olympics every year. And this event includes having all the students involved in a lot of different types of activities. So their activities range from academic, athletic, and arts competitions to include every single student. And we want to implement these ideas into our high school to revamp our yearly field day into an Olympic event similar to what they do there. And our plan is to have a Spring Spirit Week of themed days leading up to the Olympic event that would happen on Friday in place of our usual field day activities. And these events would be a grade versus grade competition, kind of like how we had fall, because our students really enjoyed having those grade versus grade competitions and got super into it when we did that. Also, we're planning a hot cocoa sale to raise money for our student council. So every morning, students come to school pretty early, and as we approach the winter months and it gets cold outside, we want to sell hot cocoa so students can stay warm and the Stuco can raise some money.
Another fundraiser we have coming up is our apparel sale. So currently our student council is in the process of designing and creating some new Milford apparel, and we'll sell that soon to get more money for future events. And we're also in the process of revamping our school store. So for those who don't know, the school store is located downstairs, and it's just outside the cafeteria, and there's a window there. And our school store managers are planning to reopen really soon. And they're currently talking with Mr. Coyne and Mrs. Vanilla about having students from the transition class work with the school store to reinforce their money recognition and cashier skills that they've been learning. So instead of having student council officers run the store, we would have students from the transition class run it instead. And we've also been looking into options for point of sale systems to keep track of our inventory throughout the year for the store. We feel that's pretty important. And like I said, we have a window on the school store, so that's usually been used to display items in the past, but this year instead, we've been talking with Mr. Piero about installing a sliding window to make it more like a storefront. So we feel this would be more accessible for students and more fun for them to come down and actually be at kind of like a real store. So we have lots of great things coming up for Student Council, and we're really excited as we enter the winter to implement really fun things into the high school.
Thank you, Mackenzie.
Another one out of the park.
More exciting things. Thank you very much. Does anyone else have any questions or comments for Mackenzie?
I have a comment, because I got a little emotional. So, I think I like the idea that you're trying to change the field day, because there are a lot of students who probably didn't want to participate as much, right? But
Yeah.
this extends to that. I think that's fantastic, and it's a great idea. And having the students in the transition class participate, I think, is good too, because they work with their peers, and then I think it's fantastic. And I very much appreciate your energy when you give this report, because it really tells us that, there is exciting things happening. So I do thank you very much, because I think it's amazing, and please tell them that they're all doing a great job. Thank you.
You bring such spirit. You really do. You're like the poster child for New Milford High School.
I know, right?
It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have a POS system, so I'm thinking that we could probably create you something off of that. So when you guys have more ideas, you can reach out to me and I can try to set you up with on our system.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
So Mackenzie, same as we said to Briella, you are welcome to stay, but you are a student, and we know you have to go home and study and do other student things, so you're welcome to leave as well. Thank you again. All right, that brings us to our Superintendent of Schools report, Danielle Shanley.
Not too long tonight. I had a long one last week. I would just like to share with everyone information I received in the form of a press release. The National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association, the NIAAA, would like to announce that Joe Riccardelli, our Director of Athletics, has been recognized by the NIAA as a nationally certified athletic administrator. And to earn this distinction, he had demonstrated the highest level of knowledge and expertise in the field of interscholastic athletic administration. The voluntary certification process includes a thorough evaluation of the candidate's educational background, experience, professional contributions, as well as a rigorous, comprehensive written examination. And Mr. Riccardelli is one of an elite group of interscholastic athletic administrators nationwide who have attained this level of professionalism. The NIAA is a national professional organization consisting of all 50 state athletic administrator associations and more than 12,000 individual members. It is dedicated to promoting the professional growth of interscholastic athletic administrators and preserving the educational nature of interscholastic athletics and the place of these programs in the secondary school curriculum. So it is definitely a scholar-athlete focus, which is wonderful, and I just want to congratulate Mr. Riccardelli on his recognition. Not easy to do. We would also like to congratulate, I had the opportunity of attending a signing last week, and I know I'm going to say her last name incorrectly, Kathleen Benderitis, right, who signed her national letter of intent last week on National Signing Day to attend Division I, University of Maine, and continue her swimming career. The Fall League honors are not complete as of yet. All of the league meetings will be completed next week. And this is completed by the NJIC, not by the school itself. And we will share the names of all the honorees when that is available. October Student Athletes of the Month, Mary Seriani and Max Callie. So congrats to each of them for their hard work and dedication to their teams, their coaches, and congratulations to their families too. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Night Reach. It is a community-based service program of student athletes, and they have been meeting weekly. And their first order of business will be visiting the elementary schools during their book fairs. Mr. Riccardelli goes with them. They are also planning a toy drive for pediatric cancer patients through Hackensack Medical Center. The winter season will be in full force as of next Monday, November 22nd. We'd also like to wish good luck to our junior football team, 7th and 8th graders, who will be playing in the Super Bowl next Saturday at Riggin Field in East Rutherford. So you will see there's been an addition to the agenda tonight in red in partnership to help support them with the busing. This is something we have done in the past, and I'm asking you for your support in that once again. So we survived Election Day, but not without a few hiccups, and some parents continue to have concerns about having the buildings open on Election Day, no matter how safe we try to be. And I think that moving forward, it might just be a good thing to look at when we plan our school calendar and consider having closed schools on Election Day so that we have nothing to worry about. Look, we'll find the way to make the day, somewhere else so that there's just no concern on anybody's part. I wanted to, as a parent, sometimes, and as an educator, we try as hard as we can to keep up with the speed of our children and the technology that they interface with on a regular basis. And I don't know how many of you parents, I'm assuming most parents have a smartphone. I mean, if my mother has a smartphone, most of you probably have a smartphone. And I don't know how many of you are active viewers and who have downloaded TikTok. But if you haven't downloaded TikTok, you should download TikTok. So this is a message to all the parents out there. First of all, there's a lot of great things on it for adults. There's a lot of educational information. But it is at 3 billion downloads as of October 2021. And it is the most downloaded app of 2021. And if you are not on TikTok, it is a very simple app to follow. If you can handle Facebook or Instagram or any of those things, you just have no problem handling TikTok. And I say this because so much of pop culture and the things that are important to our kids are on TikTok. And it's just good for us to try to meet them where they are and stay with it, and if I'm just highly recommending to our parents that if you're not on it, get on it, see what the kids are seeing. If you want to create an account, that's fine, but don't post anything and embarrass your children because they don't want you to do that. But just, you do get a little bit of a taste of what they are doing. Snapchat is a whole nother beast. That's how they communicate with each other on the regular. They do not text each other via text message the way we use text message, how these dinosaurs in the room use text message. They communicate with each other via Snapchat, almost exclusively. And that's very difficult to access because it disappears. But TikTok is something that is a huge part of their lives. And if you don't believe me and you go on their smartphone and you see how much time they've spent on TikTok in the past week, and you will understand. So it's maybe a beast out there, but it's something I think we need to, as parents and educators, be part of. And I know that some of our teachers are using TikTok and advertising great things that they're doing in their classrooms. through TikTok, and that's a lot of fun, and sometimes those things pop up on my For You page, and that's how I get to know that they're doing that. This is, it's November, it's the month of Thanksgiving, and it is the month of chopped up weeks of school. That's what November really is, but I just wanted to say that I wanted to wish everyone a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you'll be spending time with your families. Maybe it might have been a while since maybe any of you have had a holiday with your family, so I wish you the best. And I'm very thankful for our students and our families, our school community, our faculty, staff, administrative team, and all of our supports, and of course for all of you. And that is the end of my report.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shanley. And congratulations to the junior football team. That's exciting. Congratulations. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? Okay. That leads us to Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Laura Nodoxa.
Good evening, everyone. I also just have a few quick things to share, which are a little bit like teasers. So I just wanted to update you on the academies at the high school. This Friday, they will be going to the Bronx Zoo, and they will be engaging in a study on climate change. And I just want to give you a little sneak peek of what's to come. We're really excited because I feel like we're kind of back, right? We're back and we're planning some really great excursions and trips for our kids. We will be planning the trip to see Mrs. Doubtfire, looking at a visit to American Dream Mall, the Stryker and Pfizer facilities, information sessions and tours of the facilities, a visit to Valley Hospital or Hackensack Hospital, and the Hayden Planetarium with National History Museum visit. And the long haul, we're looking at a spring trip for students to look at different colleges. And we're right now tentatively planning this trip to take place in March and looking to visit the University of Delaware, University of Maryland, University of Pennsylvania, Georgetown University, American University, and George Washington University. So it's exciting to just share all of this with you because, it seems like a little bit of information, but this is huge that we're able to plan these kinds of things for our kids again. So we're all really excited and looking forward to everything that lies ahead in this year. And that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you very much. It's great to have these trips back. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Our business administrator report, Stephanie Kuchar.
Good evening, everyone. First, I want to bring your attention to BA 21, and I would like the board to table this from the agenda pending further information. So this may require action at a subsequent meeting, but for now, I was contacted by the parent late today. We didn't have time to review the documents before the meeting, and so I would just like to table BA 21. I sent out on November 15th the budget documents so the building level administrators can begin to think of their needs for the 2022-2023 school year. I asked that this year that they be mindful of and thinking about what it really costs to run their programs effectively. You've probably heard the term zero-based budgeting before, but this is something that we're truly striving for this upcoming budget season. So they received documents. I will be meeting with new principals to walk them through the process and give them some insight. I know it could be an overwhelming process for some. Any other administrators, I told them that they could set up meetings with me individually and be more than happy to walk them through anything that they're unfamiliar with, any questions. It's very preliminary, but I just want to share that with you because we're not that far off from the budget season. And I look forward to the day when I no longer have to be reporting on Hurricane Ida. But for now, it's still outstanding. And so I believe it was last Friday, we came up with a comprehensive list, all of the costs, the invoices, any documentation that's been requested of us, the adjuster now has, I'm sure there'll be more questions, but we do have a comprehensive list. The cleanup is well underway. The track still needs to be power washed from debris. So we have that in the works. And then we're also replacing some grounds equipment. So more information will be coming, but I just wanted to bring you up to date that everything has been submitted. We've gotten quotes, invoices, and so we're well on the way of wrapping this up. And that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments on the board? Okay. In that case, I seek a motion for BA 18, BA 19, BA 20. We've tabled BA 21, BA 22, and BA 23. Can I get a second? Seconded by Heather Gomez. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Educational Programs and Curriculum Committee, Laura O'Grady.
I seek approval for C15, C16, C17, C18, and C19.
Can we get a second? Seconded by Tammy Kaminsky. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Having the recommendation of the superintendent. I seek a motion for P12, P14, P33, P39, P40, P60, P70, P71, P72, P73, P74, P75, P76, P77, and P78. Can I get a second? Seconded by Anthony Albro. Roll call, please.
Mr. Albro?
Yes.
Ms. John?
Yes.
Ms. Kaminsky?
Yes.
Ms. Matheny?
Yes.
Ms. O'Grady?
Yes.
Ms. Ryan?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Vice President Gomez?
Yes.
President Andrews?
Yes. Finance Committee, Judith McSweeney.
I seek a motion for F27, F81, F82, F83, F84, F85, F86, F87, F88, F89, F90, F91, F92, F93, F94, F95, F96, F97, F98, F99, F100, F101.
Can we get a second? Second by Heather Gomez. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Facilities Committee. I seek a motion for FA6, FA7, FA8, FA9. Can I get a second? Second by Heather Gomez. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, question or comments?
So on the Chromebooks, I know that we had and it's saying dispose of. Do we have an agreement for trading in? Is this part of that, or is this different? How is this working?
Well, it's my understanding that if we're disposing, then they're out of the cycle of use.
Okay. So the trade that we were having where it was a lease where we have for so long and then we would return and they would renew, that's no longer.
I didn't know that there was a return piece.
That is, but these are out of their useful life. Like Google can't update.
Okay. So then what happens in terms of that with these?
These are disposed.
I do know that.
Oh,
I'm saying, so now in terms of the switch over, okay, this one, I'm gonna give you this one, and then you're gonna give us a new one, and we're gonna keep that lease going. Is this just,
these were prior to that lease. I
Okay.
believe the ones that you're talking about are more recent.
okay, thank you. That was what I was asking.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Athletic Co-Curricular Committee, Nicole Dunn.
I seek a motion for AC3, AC4, and AC5.
Questions? Second, Tammy Kaminsky. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Policy Committee, Joseph Steele.
Okay, second reading and adoption of the following policies and regulations. P 164813, P 164814, P 2425, P 5751, R 5751, P 2472, P 2467, P 5111, P 3114, P 5116, P 7432, R 7432, PR 420, R 8420.1, PR 540, P 8540, P 8550, P 8600. Okay. First reading of the following policies and regulations: P 7250, P 6115.01, P 6115.02, P 6115.03, P 6311, P 1648.11, P 0164.6, P 1620, R 2431.1, P 2451, P 2464, P 5330.05, R 5330.05, P 6440, P 6470.01, P 64, R 6470.01, P 7440, and R 7440.
Thanks a lot. Can we get a second? Second by Heather Dunn. Nicole Dunn, excuse me.
Oh, my goodness.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That was a new one.
Motion passes 9-0. Do we have any liaison or board committee reports? Councilman, did you have a report for us tonight or no?
Yes, very briefly. Just a reminder that Sunday at 6 p.m. at Hardcastle Pond is this year's ADAM event. Of course, ADAM is an acronym for Alcohol and Drug Awareness Memorial. And the New Milford Municipal Alliance invites those of you who wish to come from both the board and the district to not only attend the vigil and the memorial, but also to speak. So we would very much like to see you there. I hope that some of you can attend and speak as well. And it's also just a reminder that on December 5th will be this year's holiday tree lighting and winter wonderland. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Additional board items? Old business? Joe? Okay. New business? Joe?
Just a reminder that the delegate assembly is this Saturday and begins at 9 o'clock. So I hope you'll, take the link and go look at it. I don't expect anybody here to drive down if it's right. So.
Thank you, Joe. Some of us are already signed up, and I actually mixed up the dates and logged on properly at 9 o'clock last Saturday, and was sitting there wondering.
By yourself?
By myself, wondering why it had started, and then I noticed the little clock. They had a timer with days
Had a
down
whole
to the
week?
seconds, and then I said, oh, I had a whole week. So I will look forward to it this Saturday. It should be interesting. Yes.
I guess this would be new business. I guess Dr. Kutro, with the waiting for the power washing of the track, is the track accessible for the public at the current time?
It's being used.
The track
That's what
walk
he's
around,
saying. Is it available to be used?
Power wash, is it
understand.
locked up, or is it still accessible at normal hours for the community?
I don't believe it's accessible right now because we still have equipment there.
Okay.
So when we're able to move the equipment prior to the power washing, I believe we'll make it accessible. But I think that there's still a bit, if people are just accessing it because we have heavy machinery still there, that's.
Would there be a way to get a message to the community, let them know?
Maybe we need to also put some signage there to let them know that, approximately when, we could put it on the Facebook page too, approximately when,
Okay.
that it's available.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other new business? Judy?
Okay, if you'll all give me a few minutes. Board President Andrews, Superintendent Shanley, Assistant Superintendent Odotsta, Dr. Kuchar, esteemed board members. I have lived in New Milford since 1999. I was an active participant in both Berkeley and Gibbs PTO and consistently attended Board of Education meetings since 2001. In 2009, I was appointed to serve on the New Milford Board of Education as a board member had made a decision to step down. Over the course of 12 years that I've been afforded to serve on the board, I've worked with many dedicated individuals. The dedication of those who I've served with has truly been inspiring, as this is a volunteer position that requires no less than 100% of ourselves. Our collective and mutual respect for one another, coupled with our commitment, brought us all together for the children of New Milford. Over the course of 12 years, through the dedication, perseverance, and commitment put forth amongst many stakeholders, the accomplishments realized were many. Most recently, U.S. News rated New Milford schools 161 out of 400 schools in New Jersey. We were the top 40% in the state. In the country, we were rated number 4,412 out of 17,857 schools in the country, the top third. Over the course of my 12 years on the board, we collectively worked together to bring stability to a district that previously had superintendents, business administrators, and valued educators come and go. Having the stability of our superintendent, coupled with the central office team that was put in place, along with the business administrator and valued New Milford educators, we were all able to work collectively for the children of New Milford. Over the course of my 12 years on the board, we collectively worked together and witnessed the creation of the academies, the Interbridge Crossing Program, and the night school. There were numerous technological, building, and ground improvements, including the field. Although the accomplishments are many, these are the few that I chose to mention. There were some board members who, for either personal and/or professional reasons, made a decision to step down. To those who made that decision, I applaud you, as I know that that was not an easy decision to make. To be an effective board member, you must give your time and no less than 100% of yourself. The initial desire to become a board member is personal to each and every one of us. The Board of Education is a team which consists of 9 members, aka team members. Although we might not have always agreed, just like the team that goes out on the field, we stood and collectively worked together for the children of New Milford. As I mentioned earlier, to be an effective board member, one must give of themselves no less than 100%. Over the course of the last 12 months, my personal and professional commitments have increased, which has affected my ability to be the effective board member that I have prided myself to be. I cannot commit to the time and effort needed to be effective, so it is with deep regret that I must resign at the end of business today. I thank the public for trusting me and voting me in all these years. It was an honor and privilege to work with the former board members and each and every one of you. New Milford is a fantastic community with an excellent school district that will continue to grow and excel. I welcome the newly elected board members onto the team, and whereas together, everyone achieves more. I thank all of you, and I thank all of you. Thank you.
Judy? thank you for everything you have given of yourself for the board and the school district. You're going to be missed. Thank you very much. Paige, I know you've worked with Judy for years.
Can't look at you. I know how hard this was for you to do, because at the end of the day, I know that it's important to you. But I know that being here and giving 100% has always been important to you. And over the years, that's many conversations that we've had. So it was an honor for me. I came in right after you. And I feel like, I've learned so much from you as a person and a board member. So I value that relationship that won't end, that you step down. New Milford is better for having you on the board because of all that you brought from your personal, professional experience, but also from your passion. And when you didn't agree with something, there wasn't a person here that wasn't going to know why. Because you made sure that you let everyone know, and you were very logical, and that's what was very much appreciated. You never said anything in a way that was insulting, but you were always straightforward. And I really do appreciate that, and I'm keeping myself together. But I want to tell you that, because since this is your last meeting, I won't be able to say it another time. I just want to thank you for everything, and on behalf of the families of New Milford that have benefited over, these last 12 years, thank you for your service.
Thank you, Judy. Does anyone else want to say anything?
Well, I will truly miss you. I feel that you've been a mentor to me. I think what Paige says, when you have an opinion, we listen to it, we respect it. And even though we don't always agree sometimes, we always listen and we always work through things. And I think it's a big loss, and I wish you well, and hopefully we'll keep in touch.
Yes, Anthony.
I just wanted to say that I've gotten smarter sitting next to you. And, being one of the relatively newcomers to the board, you welcomed me right away. I remember our first county meeting, which I think lasted 6 hours. And you reminded me it doesn't last that long all the time. And every time you spoke, Judy, I listened, because I knew you were going to be a straight shooter. And sometimes I cheered because you thought like me. And sometimes I realized that there's a different side, a different opinion. So this board's going to miss that a great deal. Congratulations, I must say to you.
Joe?
I preceded you by just a handful of months, and coming in and looking at all the different committees, I dreaded finance. I'm not a numbers person. You made it easy. You made it less painful to try and understand. And as the years went on, I remember that, and I attribute that to you. We are friends, we are neighbors, that won't change. We'll have a couple seats that'll be occupied by somebody else, and, they've got big shoes to fill over here.
Yeah.
I wish you well.
I know you want to say something as well, but I needed a minute to collect my thoughts. And it's not going to be long, don't worry. But Judy, and I don't think I ever told you this, when I first joined the board, I was a little afraid of you. I was actually a lot afraid of you. But I got to know you, and I realized that you are a brilliant person with a huge heart. And as Anthony said, you're a straight shooter. And I learned from you. I learned a lot, and I will always be grateful for that. And we hope to keep in touch. We will keep in touch. I know you'll still be in the audience. All right. Yes, Stephanie.
I just wanted to say thank you as the chair of the finance committee for challenging me on almost everything, every time. And it made me a better administrator here, because every time it was about doing more for the students of New Milford. And how can I stretch a dollar as far as I can? And I have some crazy ideas, and sometimes you would tell me they were crazy, and other times you would come up with alternatives, and it was always nice to have your perspective. And you've definitely challenged me, which I can't thank you enough for, because I've grown tremendously in the year that I've been here. So thank you.
Yeah, I just want to, Judy, I want to thank you for everything. I'm trying to remember, I think you've been on the board since I came into the district. I most enjoyed our time when I got to sit beside you. And just want to thank you for your support that's not only advanced our programs, but really touched the lives of all of our children. So thank you for everything, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
I don't think there's anything that I find more attractive than intelligence. And you have always been just so sharp, and you always would see the possibilities as well as forecast potential challenges. You always had such a sharp and keen perspective. And it, like Stephanie was saying, it really did help us, because you would go, I don't know if that's going to work. I think you really need to think about this. And you always guided us faithfully and ethically, and with an eye that we maybe couldn't have ever anticipated. I too loved sitting next to you. We would often communicate via notes. Sometimes during meetings, sometimes we would laugh at things like little girls in school who could potentially get in trouble because you're so witty, and you were always such a tremendous cheerleader for everything that we brought to the floor for kids. And you would say, you know what, this is great, and you should do more of that. And you know what, this is great, and this is what you should be, this is what parents want to see. And you were always pushing us to be our very best. And as an accomplished, professional woman and leader in your work, you set an example for other young women, and you stayed with us long after your own son graduated, and you didn't have any personal stake in the game or any agenda to promote. You just were so committed to the education in this community. And I personally will miss you tremendously, but I've worked with you every day here since I was hired. And you really were a wonderful mentor to me.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay, you ruined my night, Judy.
Okay, if that is all,
Wow.
then at this point in the meeting, I seek a motion to open to the public. For items not on the agenda, can I get a second? Seconded by Nicole Dunn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. As outlined in the Milford Board of Education Bylaw 0167, each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 2 minutes. Do we have any questions or comments from the public? Wow, lots of hands went up. I saw Lynn LePage first. Oh, I just said Lynn LePage. Could you please state your name and address for the record?
I am. Lynn LePage, 136 Clinton Ave. 2 quick questions. On P78, can you just tell me which school that is?
Gibbs.
And AC4, naming of the tennis court? I'm just curious. Are they getting dedicated?
They are. However, the board members know the name of the recipient at this point, because right now it's still a surprise. And as soon as it becomes public, then we will share with everybody.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Who was next? Okay, please state your name and address for the record.
Stephanie Coppinger, 426 Heavy Drive. I just wanted to say to Judy, thank you for everything. I've been sitting here probably for 3.5 years as the public. And so I've watched you work. And just want to say thank you for your commitment, your dedication, and, you know, good luck with the future endeavors.
Thank you.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Joe Linham, 381 Leonard Drive in Milford. First of all, Ms. McSweeney, it's funny when President Andrews said that, you know, when she first met you, she was a little bit scared of you. I met you, as you know, years ago down in junior football when I was running junior football, and your husband was one of the coaches. And the first time, you know, Bill, you know, was like very, and then I met you, and I was like, wow, she rules the roost. But anyway, I certainly didn't expect to hear that tonight, and I'm sorry to hear that. I really look forward to sitting with you on this board. But thank you for all the time and energy and effort that you put in, not only to this board, but to the kids of New Milford in myriad capacities. And to all the board members who you know, put the time in and invest their time and effort. You know, we all appreciate everything that volunteers do. Thank you.
If I can just say something, Joe, thank you so much. My mask is down so I can breathe. It was a hard decision for me. Because as you know, work gets difficult at times, and with COVID, it changed. So, and I wrestled with this for many, many months. And we have a fantastic community. We have a fantastic school community, and I like I said, I've been so conflicted with this, and I've spoken to my husband about this, whom you know. If you just can't feel that you can go all in, you can't be, because there's just so much really required of us outside of this. And I just felt by staying on and not being in that 100%, I was doing a disservice not only to my colleagues here, which eventually would trickle down. So, like I said, it wasn't, and I mentioned before, I took the place of somebody who had stepped down. And there have been, you know, throughout the years, people have stepped down. And I now realize it couldn't have been an easy decision. They had to have been conflicted because they got on, they wanted to partake in all of this. They wanted to be a part of the school district growing and having a say and working with others. And so I now realize how difficult it must have been, because it is truly difficult to have to step down. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I do actually have a question/statement other than that. The great irony is I wanted to actually ask this for a couple of months, but I haven't been able to get here to Tuesday night. And I was watching live streams, you know, most of last year, as many people were. And I understand that since the board has gone back live, that it's not acceptable or allowed by the board, you know, to ask questions remotely anymore. And I would ask that the board reconsiders their position on that. In the beginning of the meeting, when you opened to the public for questions on the end of the agenda, you know, it was said that, you know, the board may or may not answer questions, etc. And so I don't really understand what the potential issue could be with somebody putting a question in over the internet is, you know, whether or not the board adapts a position where, you know, somebody's got to call them before to make sure it was them or whatever. But I think if we learn something with everything being remote, it's that there's a whole lot more people that were paying attention to meetings remotely than show up at these meetings here. So I just would hope that the board could consider allowing people from the public to ask questions that could at least be read into the record. Maybe an answer is not found that night. Maybe no comment is made on that night. Maybe we'll get back to you. But, you know, there's a lot of people here tonight, as Superintendent Shanley mentioned, you know, wishing luck to the Pee Wee football players, the 8th graders, 7th graders. those are parents that are picking up their kids from practice right now, or coaches that are there that can't be here. And I understand, the effort to be here as much as possible, but there's people that just can't be here. I couldn't be here on Tuesday nights all year because of my work schedule. I had to change my work schedule based on the circumstances, which I now have done. But people can't always be here. So I just don't see the harm in allowing people who can't be here to ask that question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Liu. I seek a motion to close the public. Oh, we have another, okay. Yes.
Judy, I just wanted to say thank you. As I don't need to tell you, service is truly a thankless job. And it's not a part-time job. It occupies all your time, all your heart, and all of your soul. You're very humble, so you probably don't realize the impact that you have had on our community. So please believe me when I tell you, you've had a tremendous impact. And Milford is better, much better, because of you. I've only had the privilege of being the board's liaison for a year, but as I've sat and listened to you, I've been extremely impressed. Not only candidly because I think you're brilliant, but more importantly, or at least just as importantly, you're so passionate. You have so much love for this town and this community. So from the bottom of my heart to you, I just want to say thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And good luck to you in the next chapter of your life.
Thank you.
Thank you. I seek a motion to close to the public. Can I get a second? Seconded by Nicole Dunn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. I would like to respond to Mr. Lumen's question, comment. And this is a meeting held in public, not a public meeting. There is a difference between the two. A public meeting is intended for back and forth conversations. A meeting held in public is to conduct business, open for the public to view. Public is welcome to ask questions, give comments, but there is a chain of command that needs to be followed. They can get their questions answered at any time by following that chain of command. Ms. Shanley has often said she has an open door policy. Although chain of command often starts at the teacher level and then the principal, but the chain of command should be followed. Do we have any board member requests for additional information? Okay. At this point, I seek, yes, Paige.
The process has to begin to appoint a new board member.
Yes.
So just want to make sure that that's out there, that we would need to start that, not for you, but we do need to start that process because it has to be done within 30 days.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you for reminding everyone.
Thank you.
Yes, we will need to start that process. Okay. At this point, I seek a motion to adjourn. Seconded by Judy McSweeney. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?